All right, Field, guess what?
Yeah, what's
All
up?
right, I watched Judgment Night, and now I need a cool nickname. So I was thinking the microphone. Or if you don't like that, I could really heat things up as the microwave.
A lot of micros.
Yeah, I the microchip. I don't know. I don't like that one as much.
What about the micro?
Yeah, see, that's where we're going. I don't like it. You know what? We don't do nicknames anymore. This is Judgment Night.
I don't even know if that works.
Ladies and gentlemen, please notice that exits are conveniently located at the front and rear of this auditorium. When leaving the theater, we suggest that the exit at the front of the auditorium will allow you easier access to the parking areas. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mike Field.
I'm Mike Butler.
And this is Forgotten Cinema. It's my best James Earl Jones. Each episode, we highlight a film that, for a variety of reasons, was forgotten by audiences. Whether a more popular movie was released at the same time, or the film simply didn't catch on with an audience in its initial run. We'll discuss what we love about the movie, or perhaps don't love about it, but we always recommend you revisit it. If you enjoy Forgotten Cinema, we want to hear from you. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We're on YouTube. We have a backlog of 300 episodes for your listening pleasure.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hey, what's going on?
Oh, nothing much. I was just headed in my the RV I rented. I rented an RV, by the way, for free. All packed to it's like an actor's RV.
It's a little shady. Yeah, it was a little weird how that.
I kind of ripped people off. It was not good. It's not a good look.
Because you're the razor.
I got it because I am the razor, or in this case, the microphone, as I say. Hey, and I got this RV, so I packed my friends in. We're going to a boxing match, but I got stuck in traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And even though apparently I live 5 blocks from the city, I don't know my way around. Got lost. Also,
you didn't plan on traffic, but go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't plan on traffic. Clearly left way too late. Missed half all the undercards. Anyway, now I'm lost in the hood. I don't know where I'm going. I bring this guy in who's clearly gotten shot. We're trying to take care of him, but guess what? The people after him are now after us because now we are witnesses, and we clearly don't know how to handle ourselves in the bad part of town, and we're gonna pay for it. Or at least I am, because clearly I'm now the Ray character, and I don't know
why. Why did you sign with the Piven character?
Well, because I said I got an RV, and then now I'm stuck with that character.
Ooh, awesome! I will pick something. I'll pick a better character.
Not the character to pick.
I'm going to pick Emilio Estevez as a character. Frank, what a terrible name.
Francis.
Yeah. All right. Yes, we are doing the 1993 film Judgment Night. Believe this was Mike's first watch, correct? Yes. So I always like these because it's always cool to get your first initial reactions.
Yeah, this was another film, kind of like quiz show. I knew nothing about.
No.
I mean, you told me what it was about. Like quiz show.
No. I like when you don't see, and I know you like it when I don't see the movie, but that's very, very rare. Yeah, it's very rare. Okay. So Judgment Night has a runtime of 110 minutes. It's rated R, which is nice. Production budget was $21 million. It came out on October 15th, 1993. That was a Friday. Its opening weekend, it did $4 million. Domestic and worldwide total are pretty much the same. I don't believe this had I think it's international release. Like I read that the UK release was straight to DVD, straight to video, VHS, because 93. So its worldwide total and domestic total are the same for $12.5 million. Production company was Largo Entertainment and JVC Entertainment Networks, and it was distributed in the US by Universal Pictures. Came out on the 15th. So let's go back to the October 8th, where you had a wide release of Demolition Man, a favorite here at the show. I love that movie. Mr. Jones and Mr. Nanny, a couple of Mr. movies going out there. Do you know anybody?
I don't know either.
Mr. Jones is with Richard Gere. It's directed by Mike Figgis. He is Lena Olin is in it as well. He plays somebody who is bipolar disorder, but they don't know. So this is the early 90s. So it's not really like, it's like, what is this? So he's like manic. He's crazy. He's Mr. Jones. He's irresistible. He's irresponsible. It's like the trailer is like, it makes it out to be like a rom-com, and then it gets all serious and stuff like that. So that was Mr. Jones. Mr. Nanny's with Hulk Hogan.
Oh, I've seen Mr. Nanny.
Think The Pacifier that with Vin Diesel, but this is with Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. I have seen Mr. Nanny.
Yeah, it is not good. You had a limited release that week of Gettysburg, Deadfall, and Ruby in Paradise. Any of those ring a bell? Gettysburg.
Deadfall and Gettysburg.
I had never heard of Deadfall before.
I had heard of it.
Yeah, Michael Biehn.
The poster looks familiar. Yeah.
Okay, the week that this film came out, it went up against in a wide release, The Beverly Hillbillies and Mr. Wonderful. Yeah.
I think I know Mr. Wonderful, or I think I know of Mr. Wonderful.
Mr. Wonderful is release. I've already lost. I don't even know what it is anymore. I had it. Great. And I lost it.
Awesome.
You had a limited release of Rudy, Fearless, Farewell My Concubine, and Nightmare Before Christmas. That had I guess that was a
I saw that in
release.
theaters.
You did. And then the week after, you had the Rudy came out in the wide release the week after this, and you had a limited release of $20. That's what Brendan Fraser and David Schwimmer. 8 screens, so that it's a really limited release. This film is directed by Stephen Hopkins, who's done Predator 2, The Ghost in the Darkness,
a movie we did on the podcast,
Blown Away, and A Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Child, which is 4, correct? Yes. No,
Dream Child.
Dream Warriors is 3, so Dream Child's 4.
Yes.
This has a story credit, a story credit for Lewis Collick and Jerry Cunningham, and then Collick is the one who wrote the screenplay. Collick has done October Sky, Charlie St. Cloud, and Domestic Disturbance, and Cunningham has done The Last of the Finest, and he has an uncredited write on, I don't know if he did the original story or he worked on one of the scripts for The Fugitive. Cinematographer was Peter Levy, who's done Broken Arrow, Ricochet, and Cutthroat Island. Composer was Alan Silvestri, who's done The Polar Express, which he was nominated for an Oscar. Forrest Gump as well nominated, and of course Avengers, Infinity War, Endgame. He's done a ton of the Marvel movies. Yeah. Edited by Tim Welburn, who's done The Road Warrior, The Punisher from 1989, and Fortress. And it was produced by Gene Levy, who's done he was a line producer mostly for Waterworld, The Bachelor, but he also has a producer credit for Hysterical. All right, this film are 4, I guess, suburban dudes, right, in the big city. Suburbans in the big city. We have Emilio Estevez, Frank Wyatt. He's obviously in the Young Gun series. People might know him from the Mighty Ducks, Breakfast Club, Stakeout, another Stakeout. He's in a ton of things. Cuba Gooding Jr. as Mike Peterson, his buddy. I forgot that he won an Oscar for Jerry Maguire.
Yeah,
I knew he was nominated.
Show me the money.
Yeah, he's also in Outbreak, Radio, and What Dreams May Come. I know Butler likes that. Jeremy Piven as Razor or Ray Cochran. He's doing the TV show Entourage. He's also in Gross Point Blank and The Family Man,
a movie we did.
Correct. Stephen Dorff as John Wyatt, who was Frank Wyatt's younger brother. Young Stephen Dorff, yes, from Blade. He's in the season 3 of True Detective, which I like a lot, and he's also in Cecil B. Demented. Denis Leary as Fallon. He is our head bad guy here. From The Ref, TV show Rescue Me.
The Ref we did on the show.
Correct. Demolition Man, which I said earlier. And he's also a voice actor in the Ice Age series, which has like 20 films on.
2 movies on the same release date?
Yeah. Wow. Well, no, Demolition Man was the week before.
Okay.
Peter Green as Sykes. He is our second bad guy. He's in The Usual Suspects. I always remember him from flicking the cigarette at Stephen Baldwin in that movie. He's and Gabriel Byrne. He's also in Pulp Fiction. He plays Zed. Zed's dead.
That's right.
And he's in The Mask.
The Mask is where I always recognize him.
Oh, okay. Eric Schrody as Rhodes. Does he look familiar to you?
He did look familiar.
Yeah. So he is Everlast from House of Pain.
Oh, okay.
Everlast is coming. Anyways, he's also in the movie Who's the Man? I think that was also like a had a lot of House of Pain music in that. Michael Wiseman as Travis. He rounds out our bad guys. He is in the Planet of the Apes film, the 2001 version, and he's also in The Wicker Man. And then Michael DiLorenzo as the kid, though, the kid that they gets shot, that RV runs over, kind of. He is in Alive, A Few Good Men, Sergeant Private Santiago, Private Santiago, yep. And then the TV show New York Undercover. So that's I think that's where I know him. I mostly know him from A Few Good Men, but I remember seeing him on New York Undercover. That was a big thing back in I think it was late 90s or mid to late 90s. Okay. Mike, I had seen this. You had not.
No.
So we can go wherever you want to go. Obviously, we're going to talk about our viewing notes, but I'm curious. You're just kind of when you stopped and the credits played and that movie, that song played that played in the beginning. What were your thoughts?
Oh, I mean, when the credits played, my eyes rolled. I mean, when the guy's last line, the last line, "Hey, your wife's here." I was like, "How? Why? What?
We don't have the budget to bring her back for another scene. So
we're just gonna run this line and then boom, credits." Overall, though, I think this movie. I think I put it in my story when I put that I watched this movie. It's got good bones. I feel like there's a good movie in here, but the movie itself, I question the motivations of the bad guy. I question the actions of our quote unquote heroes, their decisions they make, the stupidity that they like, how stupid they are at times, and like what city is this? Is clearly unknown city. They don't say where they
Paper
are.
Town.
Yeah. Is this Gotham City? Is like everything the hood here? It's like in most cities, you can walk and there's different things going on in cities, and this city is just dead. This boxing match was going on. There's a ton of traffic. Were they leaving the city? Is there an incident? Is Godzilla here so that the population dwindled to 100? It's just, there's so much stuff in the movie that's just so stupid. But overall, I did enjoy it. It kept my attention. I was wondering what was going to happen. I hate Ray. Not that I don't like Jeremy Piven. I just don't like the character of Ray. It was the worst of all. But I like the story they're trying to tell. I feel like there's a good movie in here, and I feel like this movie is probably, of all the movies we've done so far, ripe for a remake. I really feel like there is a good film in here that can really say that can say something. But I just don't think it's this one.
Yeah. So to give you some background behind the film, this one note I had said that this film was in development since 1978.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if I believe that.
Well, I guess the first draft, or I did the first rumination was.
I mean, like, yeah, but like 4 guys get trapped in the city and they gotta get out. Like, is that the idea? Somebody pitched that and they were like, oh yeah,
I'm gonna make Escape from New York. No, not that one.
Yeah. So I gave you the 2 writers, but this went through a ton of people. This went and got into John Carpenter's hands, who wrote some stuff. William Wisher, who's done Terminator 2. Randall Wallace, who's done Braveheart. Christopher Crowe, who's done Last of the Mohegans. Even Larry Ferguson had a piece of this from Hunt for October. So this had a lot of hands, a lot of script revisions, a lot of changes, and it so whatever
even
movie
changes after the fact too, because we'll get into like that too. Yeah.
Whatever the movie we got here was not, I guess, the intended, like Butler's talking about. It was originally supposed to be serious.
It's supposed to be like a horror film,
right?
Yeah.
And I think the first thing that I noticed, which will go to this note, is there is a ton of ADR in the beginning of this movie.
Yes, there is.
And it's like, it's good and bad, because I really love when, like, more so in the 70s, and I'm trying to remember the movie we watched, where it's clear that somebody, like when somebody's running on the street, it's clear that somebody's running in a studio and they're matching it up. But like, it's like, because I love that.
Oh,
was it the Star Chamber?
That was either Star Chamber or the Condor. I think
it was Star Chamber.
One of the two. Yeah.
Because it was, I remember Michael Douglas was in it.
It was like a spy movie. Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, oh, that's movie making. That's Hollywood. And I kind of like nerd out about that. But in the beginning of this film, I'm just like, is anybody saying this dialogue? Like, I don't understand. Like, it's not even like, what's happening?
There's a shot, and obviously this is clearly the stuff because they wanted to put more comedy in it.
That's what the ADR
of the ADR is.
That was a studio. That was a studio.
Right. Jeremy Piven and Francis or Frank are talking, or Ray and Frank are talking as he's going down the pipe. And they do a shot of Ray looking up as he's climbing down, all afraid. And he's clearly got his mouth open, like, afraid. And all of a sudden you hear like, oh, great joke, Frank. I'm like, he's not even moving his mouth.
Yeah.
Why use that shot?
Yeah. And that's like, you can, like, when they're putting those moments in, like, oh, there's levity. So this isn't Die Hard. So don't do that. This isn't John McClane cracking wise.
Right.
And these are supposed to be regular dudes. They should be scared, whatless. And it should be like, just kind of like at that point of the movie, they shouldn't be cracking jokes.
Yeah,
crack jokes in the beginning.
Like
it was even kind of annoying in the RV when they're in the drive and maybe this is just me. But like, I never joke around. Like the stuff they were saying was so stupid. It's so lame. It was such like a lame, like, we're buddies. Yeah. And like, they're saying they're cracking jokes. And I'm like, nobody jokes like this. So it felt very disingenuous. And
they also felt kind of annoying. And it didn't seem like they were very good friends.
And we can get to that when I want to talk about the characters a little bit.
Right.
But I knew that it had to be in there so that when it got serious, you knew that they had to stay serious, but they don't. They go back to the cracking wise, and it just doesn't fit. So I think I would have probably liked it a little bit darker. So which it was. So, anyways, that was kind of like the background in terms of the story and the plot itself. When I first watched this, for some reason, I always confuse this film with Gladiator. And maybe because Cuba Gooding Jr. is in that one too.
It's a gritty movie that takes place kind of in the hood.
Yeah. And that's not the Russell Crowe movie. That's the boxing film. That's the underground boxing movie with Brian Dennehy. And I think James Marshall, is that his name? the other kid, the kid that has to move there and has to live there. And
I just saw a clip from the movie, or like a whole a clip, and I was like, I know this guy, and I couldn't remember his name.
He's in A Few Good Men.
Yeah, I couldn't remember his name.
We did. We said we did. They said that we didn't do it. Anyways, that's A Few Good Men. Anyways, regardless. Yeah. So I always confuse those two movies. So when I started watching this movie, I knew the stuff when they go off the highway and they get into the deserted area of the city,
Gotham City.
But I did not have any recollection of a lot of the stuff that happened in the movie, especially when I go to the indoor mall, and none of that stuff was nothing was coming back to me like, oh yeah, that happened. Nothing. And I don't know if it's just one of those things I watched it and I flushed it. I needed space in my brain for something else. So
Demolition Man. You had more Demolition Man quotes in your head.
Yeah. So it felt like I was coming into this movie fresh, and I kind of had the same thought process you were having with why is nobody in this? How many papers are here? Why is nobody here? Why is this so vacant? Why can I not find one's place to that's
make
open?
A phone call that's open.
Yeah.
Or has people anywhere.
Yeah. Mike, these four guys, why are they bad? What is this gang? What is this crew that they do? What exactly is happening? Yeah. Do they run the drug trade?
They run the drug trade in the hood.
Do they though?
I don't even know. They're four white guys. How are they allowed? If this is that bad and there's this is the hood, then it doesn't make sense.
It makes sense if they're cops.
If he's connected to the homeless people in the quote unquote condos and the boxcars and all this stuff, it really doesn't seem like that. But then he's also scoffing at $200,000. So if I'm supposed to believe he's a street level thug, which I believe him to be, like a step up from the pushers, then $200,000 is nothing to scoff at. Get the cash and then kill him. It just none of it really. The Fallon and his crew just don't really make any sense.
And it's a small crew. You're a crew of four people, and then when you come up upon the gang that's I guess that
is protecting the projects,
protects the projects, or is that's their
building?
I don't know if they're protecting it. That's just their turf. There's 20 guys there. You have no leverage.
Yeah, and they're not afraid. And the other one's like, oh, okay,
because you got a gun. They've probably got 20.
Yeah,
probably everybody. I didn't understand that. And if you were somebody who was in the drug trade, or you were a boss who kind of ran those streets, wouldn't you know this gang?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, if he's so big, you would know him.
Right.
It made no sense.
Yeah. So the motivation for the bad guys and for the villains and for what was going on was really hazy. And it was tough you just kept saying what is happening? Why? I just kept asking why. But I want to talk about, because I think the crux of this story, or the original intent of this script, is the four leads, is the relationship between the four guys, the four friends, the two brothers. I really think that they were trying for something there. And you kind of saw hints of it where you have Ray, the cocksure guy, the talker, the real estate. He's a real estate agent, right? Is that what he said he was?
He pretended to be a sales agent.
He's like a car salesman.
He's definitely some kind of smarmy guy.
Oh, but he's rich. He's loaded. He's got a bunch of money. That's the whole thing they were talking about.
He pretends to have money, but we never get the fact that he really does.
And that's the problem. We don't know these guys really. We just kind of get surface level these guys. So you get Ray, who's
we know who Francis is now,
right? But so you get Ray, and he's somebody who's and cocksure and everything, and then you find out that he's scared, or he can't.
He's a coward,
and he thinks that he can just his whole I'm gonna just negotiate with them. I was glad when they did what they did with him, because I was just yeah, see you later.
Yeah.
And you knew that was bogus. And then Frank, the lead, he's supposed to be this family guy, which it's my note when he's on the porch and he's written ready to go. He's like, come on, Linda, I'm tired of you and the baby. I just got to get out. And she's like, I wanted to be I had the baby. I'm here too.
Yeah. I haven't gone outside for 8 months. What? You're kind of a douche.
Yeah.
So we also we all don't get much of him, because
we don't.
It's hinted that from Mike and even Ray a little bit, and John or Joe. John. Oh, Francis was this big tough guy.
Yeah, but we don't see it.
But then at the same time, we learn they've never done anything in combat. They've never fought. So he's a big tough guy, but he's not a big tough guy.
Right.
I don't.
Again, another surface level. And it's I know you can't. You don't have to in this movie. It's probably difficult to do flashbacks and show, but you can have something where like John doesn't believe it or somebody doesn't believe it. And Mike's like, no, listen, let me tell you a story. And then we hear the story. Like, but we don't get that. Again, another surface level, deep character point. John, we just know is his younger brother and he's just young.
He acts like he's quick to
brash.
He's got like a
young,
short temper.
He acts, but that's all you get. Yep. And then there's Mike where Mike's supposed to be like, again, not cocksure, but confident. He's supposed to be somebody who clearly knows some moves, clearly knows some, how to take care of himself. Yeah. We don't understand how or why or where that's from. Is he a cop? Is he a former? Is he in the army?
Been in a fight,
right? Exactly.
Never experienced combat.
And then there's some stuff with him where he kind of starts going not insane, but just starts. Like almost like an anxiety fueled
bloodlust,
right?
Kind of
like, and he's
anxiety.
No problem gunning down people with that. And I get it because you get to a point where you have to, but it's all surface level. There's nothing deep. There's nothing for me to be to. And I think that the original intent of this film was for these four guys who are seemingly are in different stages of their life, and they're portrayed one way, right? But when they're put to their test, and when something they need to like their true self needs to show forth, like then you see it. And I think it's not done well in the setup, and it's not done well, in the second act. It's just kind of like, all right, I know what they're trying to do, but it's just not being executed. Yeah. And like you said, where there's good bones here, I think if you're going to redo this, you focus on the characters more than anything.
You've got to.
Yeah. Yeah.
The chase, their night is way too long. You have way more time. I mean, we just did when we're recording this, and it's going to seem dated now. Oh. We have just recorded and watched Sinners. And like that has a ton of setup for that last half hour. I'm not saying you need only a half hour of them in the hood or whatever. I get that that's the crux of the movie, but you only get like 10 minutes with them, 5 minutes of character setup, 7 minutes of terrible jokes in the RV, and that stupid scene with the truck on the highway.
Oh man, that
I understand it's supposed to show us how they react to tense situations, but it does not work at all.
Mike is talking about guys in the truck, and he gets out and they start, you gonna fight? You want to go? And then like John gets out of the RV like they're gonna fight, and they stop him. Whatever, Mike stops them. My favorite part of that scene is when he goes back to the truck and the other guy's like, "Way to go, buddy!"
Oh, the other guy like, "Way to go, tough guy!"
like,
shut up.
Yeah, like they all like, and everyone got out of the car like they were gonna do something.
And his wife's like, "It's okay, honey."
Yeah, it was stupid. It was just dumb. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's what it was meant to be.
It's just like so much of it. Like then they talk about, like I got really mad when not mad. Like I wasn't like, oh my God, but like Ray's talking shit about being in the hood and like how crappy it is. And like, he's very, borderline right. Like he doesn't say anything super racist, but you could like he says stuff where
suburban
you're just like,
white guy in the 90s. No, he's got
racist.
He's got. Dude. I wouldn't say
preconceived
racist
notions,
and he's probably a little bit. He's probably a little bit bigot, and he's probably somebody who doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't understand. Yeah.
But Francis makes a comment. Right, you got to come. You're like probably 5-10 blocks from your house.
Right.
These morons are 10 blocks from their own homes in their own city and don't know to go left, right, center, straight, back to get out of the hood. Yeah. Who doesn't know that? Yeah. Who can't find their way out of it? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, also, and you chase down the bus, so you know where the bus line is. Just follow the bus line.
So get to the next bus stop.
It's
no, you shoot at it. And also, you stayed hold up in that stupid building after they get out of the sewers.
Oh, the you're talking about the mall, the mini mall?
No, before the mall. They're in that abandoned under construction. Yeah. And it's like, we'll just hold up here. Why? They don't know you're out of the sewers yet. Run. Yeah. Run 10 blocks. Yeah. Get out of there. Mm-hmm. But no, they're waiting for the bus. So they wait for it to watch them emerge from the sewers. What? So they check every building again? Yeah. As the only five people in town? Yeah. The decisions they make are awful. At the sewers. There's 3 entrances. There's 3 of us. Mike's the only one by an entrance when it comes down to it.
Yeah. And then he gets mad at John for not having his back when he said he would. Yeah. But he doesn't know that John froze up.
There's no way he could have seen that.
And there's a couple moments like that in the movie where the actors don't know that, the characters don't know the other characters did this. Like when they're Fallon and them are looking for the train here. Thank God they tossed a line in there that oh, they could have only used a lucky guess that they're in the trainers. Maybe they didn't come here. Cause I was like, how do you know they're here? But regardless of that, when they break out and the bums shake them down for money or whatever, and then they all run and Fallon sees the jacket that Mike's wearing on the bum and he thinks it's Mike and he shoots him dead. He never saw Mike wear that jacket. So how does he know that that's Mike?
There is no way. He saw them in the RV, but through a window in the dark. There's no way he saw that jacket. No. Then the other thing about the stupid boxcar thing, I get the bums are shaking you down for cash and jewelry so that you keep their mouth shut. I get it. Why Francis given his whole entire wallet with his cards
that was dumb.
and his ID that they could never possibly
as soon as he handed it over to him, I'm like, just take the money out.
Yeah, no, for plot.
What are they going to do? Are they going to take the cards? Just give them the cash.
So dumb.
Yeah, it is. And I don't know about you, but like it felt like the more bums kept showing up every time.
Yeah, they kept popping up. I was like, oh, so there's 2. There's 5.
And then there was like 20. And I'm like, what happened?
These train cars are not connected. Are they sleeping on top of each other like rats?
Are they like, someone get them wet? They're like gremlins. Like Mogwai.
Every dollar we bill, we multiply.
And I don't think bums would be hanging out together. I don't think they like each other. They'd probably be like in their own cars.
Exactly. And Fallon knows the Purdue one. Like all of a sudden now he knows that bum.
Yeah.
And he could have just, if he was that tight with him, hey guys, come out. I want to know where this is.
A lot of Denis Leary's dialogue felt improv. And that makes sense because he's a stand-up comedian.
The height of Denis Leary,
this is when he hit this Demolition Man, and I kind of wouldn't say this movie, but Demolition Man is what, like, oh my god, Denis Leary, and then he, he does better on TV. The Rescue Me is a really good show, and he's really good in that. There's a lot of implausible things, but even back to where I was talking about the character work, Fallon isn't developed either. You can't tell me that you're a smart bad guy or smart villain if you decide to off somebody in front of 4 people in an RV.
Yep. In the middle of the street.
Right. They're clearly it's making it. You made it your own problem that you have to kill them. This is your own problem to kill them. So you should have just like, get in the car. We'll get out of here. The takeaway. There's no reason for you to kill a guy in front of four witnesses because you've started this problem. You've killed all your friends. You keep yelling at your friends or your buddies who keep getting picked off one by one, but this is your fault. So he's not a good villain. He's again, another paper thin villain. I think that's probably my biggest knock on this is just the character work is not great.
No. Yeah. Also, what kind of annoys me, I thought about it more like today as I'm thinking, because I watched it last night. What's rule number 1? What's rule number 2? You're going to set up these rules and you got to have a rule number 3. As we go through this, I got to know the rules of Fallon. You started that. That's a thing now you started with this character. It's his rules. But he's got no rules. It's a stupid rule. No witnesses. Well, apparently, you create more witnesses as you keep going.
Apparently, one of his other rules is when you're chasing down these people in the building, you just start yelling for them and start making and saying.
You start making villain quotes, but then you start no witnesses. But then you start bashing down doors of everyone in the co-op.
They were shooting off a door,
shooting locks, and So you don't want to be known. You don't want to be seen. No witnesses. You just created 100 witnesses.
Yeah, I mean these people aren't exactly too. These people don't think they know you. Like no one says like, oh my God, he's after you.
It's
like,
Fallon.
He owns. Yeah. Like there's they don't know this guy. I assume they don't know this guy.
That's the thing is like, we don't want to rewrite it, but we're just talking about how he's supposed to own everything. He should be like, hey guys, you know who I am? Oh yeah. I'm going in. And then they come in and go say something like, hey guys, you made a big mistake. This is my building. This is my co-op. I'm the landlord or something like that.
Right.
Or the guys that were watching the door belong to me, which is another thing about these dweeby suburban morons. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not saying I grew up in the projects. Have a brain. You don't know the kid on the swing set at 1:00 in the morning is watching a drug building that he's come on.
My favorite part of
dumb are you?
My favorite part of that is when they go up to they see the kid. Mike's like, I got an idea, and he starts trying to get into the door. Like that's your idea.
Yeah, his idea is I'm gonna open the door
because they were gonna go up to the kid. Like I got an idea. Well, what that has nothing to do with this kid on the swing.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna go up and ask the kid for something. Yeah,
trick him or something like that. It's like your plan makes no sense.
What do you think this kid is doing? Why do you think this kid is there? It just none of it makes any sense.
Yeah, and that's probably. I don't know if this film, because I have a note here that this film was pulled after 2 weeks
because there was a screening
in the Bronx in the theater. Somebody was shot and killed. It was like whatever. Somebody was killed in the screening. It was gang violence or something like that. And then the media blamed the movie, saying it was the movie they killed that happened because of the movie.
It's the 90s. They did that a lot.
So Universal pulled it, and so this movie really didn't have a true theatrical run. I don't know if that hurt it. I don't know if this movie would have gone on to make more money. I don't know, because
a little bit more money, but yeah,
it's not that this film doesn't have action, because it does, and it's just that the implausibility of character decisions there's so much of it that you're just kind of like, ugh. But it does have action. It is a cool idea. It reminded me of a movie with Patrick Dempsey called Run. I don't know if you saw that. I can't remember what happens, but he is in this like small Connecticut town. And it's kind of run by this one guy. He owns the town, and he's like, they're not like organized crime, but he's like a boss of the town. So and they're trying to get him. They're trying to kill him, and he's trying to get away, but like he's trapped in this town, and he has to fight his way out and stuff like that. It reminded me of that type of film, like somebody on the run, kind of like Cellular with what's his face, with Chris Evans.
Chris Evans, yeah.
Like that's another one where it's like somebody who's a seemingly regular person is put in a situation where they need to defend themselves, or escape or get away. That's the kind of the premise. So it reminded me of those type of movies, and I like those type of movies when they're done right. And I just think this film falters there, but I still think this movie had a lot of appeal for people going to see it because it had action, because it had, guys being chased and it had set pieces. So I think it would have done rather well if it was still in the theaters after 2 weeks, but I don't know.
I think it maybe would become a cult classic.
Sure.
Maybe we'd have gotten a remake if it wasn't just completely disappeared.
Judgment Night 2, we could have got a sequel.
He's back. Someone else found Francis's wallet.
The other I guess note from this film that is popular is that Estevez got paid $4 million for this movie.
I saw that.
And that is because he was like the last choice to play the role of Frank. They had given this to a ton of actors who all said no. Like Tom Cruise was one of them.
Yep.
And it was either sign Estevez or the movie wasn't going to happen. So and then Emilio Estevez said like, all right, well, I want $4 million. And they were like, okay. So they had to, because the movie wouldn't have got made.
Yeah, because I think they already spent $8 million on pre-production.
Yeah,
so they were screwed.
So it was just like it is what it is. So that was another note that always came from this film, was like he got paid $4 million for this film. I didn't also realize that the score of the movie. Did you see the note, or did you know when you were listening to it that it sounded like
it uses some of like Predator 2 because they wanted it to sound like that, make it more like an action movie, and it does.
When I was watching it, I'm like, Predator. Why does it sound familiar?
You get it's even got the drum beats in there. I was like, why is it Predator?
But that wasn't the original score. The original score was like this electronic score that he had that was like a horror movie score almost.
Right.
And they completely got rid of it because they wanted it to be more of an action movie. I know it's out there, and I didn't look for it. I kind of want to just kind of hear it. But I know it's out there. I just, never. And the other thing that this movie was known for, which has nothing to do with the movie, because there's only one song that plays at the beginning and the end, is that this movie was known for the soundtrack. The soundtrack, when the soundtrack came out, it was a bunch of songs that were, I guess I don't want to say duets, but it was like a rapper and a rock star, a rock band. That they kind of combined to do a song. So you had House of Pain and Helmet did a song. You had, I think the song that we hear all the time is the one by Teenage Fan Club and De La Soul, Biohazard and Onyx, Cypress Hill and Sonic Youth. These are all, if these don't sound familiar to you, then you did not grow up in the 90s. Slayer and Ice-T, Mudhoney and Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Slayer and Ice-T.
Do you remember Mudhoney?
Yeah.
Pearl Jam is on here, but they're not on I'm reading it off the. They're on. No, they were with somebody. Faith No More was on there. So there was just a ton of 90s bands, and that was what I had the soundtrack. I listened to it a lot, but I was listening to it again while I was doing the notes. I'm just like, I like this song. I like this song. Fallen's a good song, and that's the song that plays in the beginning of the movie and at the end of the film. So I got. Let me get you some reviews, Butler.
Lay them on me.
Here we go. Leonard Clady of Variety said, quote, "The most chilling aspect of the urban thriller Judgment Night is how infinitely superior its craft is to its art. This is an exceedingly well-directed, cleverly filmed and edited, tension-filled affair. It is also a wholly preposterous, muddled, paranoid view of the inner-city nightmare where the slightest misstep is sure to have a fateful result." Yeah.
This 100%.
This feels like Joe White Guy got lost in the city one night. and went down the wrong block and was like, oh my God, and then he decided to write a screenplay based on that. Like, this is what this movie feels like, an overreaction to like, being in going down a street and seeing something that like scared him.
Some guy asked me for change, and he had a bottle in a bag, a paper bag.
Yeah, it's like stuff like that. Like we had this conversation. We have this conversation quite often where I work. There's some people that are, I would say, are a little sheltered. And when I say like, I went to Bridgeport, I saw this, or I went down to New Haven, I saw that. Really? What? I'm like, yeah. And then I was telling about this story that I went down we were in downtown New Haven last weekend with my wife, and we went to go to my wife's vegan, I'm vegetarian, so we went to a vegan pub, which was really good. The Reuben was awesome. My wife doesn't like pub food, so I'll never go back, but it was awesome Reuben. And I'm walking out and I had a person behind me, like, hey, can I get some spare change? And I was just like, no. And we just walked off, and I'm just like, it doesn't faze me because,
well, if you were Raygun from
if I was Razor
from this movie,
I'd be running.
You'd be freaked out,
so,
running but out of breath because like apparently you have no flight or fight.
So the review and that light makes complete sense. It just feels like an overreaction to something that's just, you shouldn't.
Stupid film, but it is like, it kept my attention. It's
yeah. Richard Harrington from the Washington Post felt that the movie was, quote, regrettably family fare. And he said, the filmmakers made a big deal of a soundtrack, which I just did, that features 11 collaborations between rappers and rockers, but their casting consciousness is less adventurous. I mean, you have yes, you have people in here that are not stars then, but they are stars now.
I'm getting that he's talking about like it's too white. It's too much like it's rappers and rock stars, but then you have your bad guys are all a bunch of white guys.
Well,
in the hood,
that's
what I found kind of preposterous.
Well, why choose Denis Leary? Like, why Denis Leary?
I mean, he does a good job. He's
better in The Ref. That's a better. He's better in The Ref.
But he's a good bad guy.
Yeah.
But he's just not the right bad guy for this. I just don't believe he's running the hood. I just don't. I don't believe he came from there. Like he has that scene where he's yelling at Ray, I just hate you. I hate the way you do, because he doesn't like people from the suburbs and how they look down on him. But you don't sound like someone who's from the hood either.
It makes sense if you make those guys ex-cops or cops. Like it makes sense if you make them that way.
You make them Gary Sinise from Ransom.
Yeah,
sure.
That makes sense. That if that they're who they are, if they're ex-cops or they're cops and they're just kind of like on the take or whatever. Like
I need one of his people. I need his like second in command to be a black guy.
But that's fine.
I don't see anyone in the hood respecting him. That's my thing.
But honestly, if it's 4 cops that are trying to that were busting up whatever, they're busting up a dealer and they just kill him, and they that instantly gives them more of a ticking clock. Oh, we got to kill these guys because we can't.
Yeah, then everybody knows them because they're the dirty cops.
I've made the movie infinitely better with that.
Yeah. Vic Mackey from The Shield hunts down 4 scrubs from the suburbs.
I'll get to. I was going to get to. Hey, who would you recommend this to? But I want to ask you. Do you, besides Piven or the Ray character, I wouldn't blame that on Piven. Do you like the act? Do you like the acting choices?
I think the acting, like how they're acting, is like I think Cuba Gooding Jr. does a good job. I just think they write Mike to be this extremist as he goes further. He gets like, I mean, I get the like violence because he's got violence. I kind of get what the theme they're going with him, but he like turns like a madman. He takes that first shot. You won't shoot me. Then he shoots him, which good. Because when he doesn't shoot him, I'm like, shoot him. He killed your friend already.
Yeah.
It's past the point of no return. You should be in flight or fight mode.
Yeah.
There's no thinking about this. But then he shoots at the bus and he's like, oh, I'll get you. I'm going to stay and I'm going to fight. Like you would. I don't believe it. I think it's well acted, but you have to act. You have to figure that out as an actor.
Yeah. Because
it's written in the script. You're not be like, can we change how the plot goes? No. You got to say those lines and you got to do it. And I think he does it well. It's just the decisions they make are stupid. And like Francis, I think he's a good character. I get it. He finally says it, which he should have told them before. I'm a dad with a kid. And he should have told his brother, you're an uncle now. Let's go. Yeah. We have a kid at home. Like he finally says it and he leaves. And I get he's kind of level headed about it. But then he has this action movie star fight with Fallon at the end, which completely ruins his character.
And you kind of, but
it's just silly. I mean, I need it. And he needs, Fallon does need to die by the end because he does know where Frank lives. So it's like, that's going to have to happen.
Yeah.
But the way it happens, it's just kind of So silly.
And if you're gonna set Frank up as somebody who is a tough guy, used to be a tough guy, and is now tame, you kind of want to see when he lets it out. It needs to be like Fallon can't get a hit in, like, you know what I mean? Like,
it needs to be intense. Well, at first Fallon does, Frank does a good job.
Yeah, but then he's still kind of. I don't think. See, I don't.
Frank throws him against the grate, and all of a sudden he's bloody as hell. It's like, was there knives on that rack you just threw him into?
Did you notice the split diopter shots?
There were a couple of them.
There were a couple. It was one, I think, in
Fallon's mouth.
But there was a bunch in the sewer, and there was one, I think, in the at the end
in the market.
Right.
Frank is against a pillar as Fallon walks by.
But there was in the sewer that was like so close to. Like,
I don't think I noticed the sewer one.
The sewer ones are a bunch. When they show Fallon's mouth, that's what I'm talking about. He's talking.
Oh, the mouth thing. Yeah. Okay.
But then they kept cutting to different other split diopter shots in that shot.
It seemed like they were like shooting a music video with that like little bit. I was like,
much.
You haven't done that before. Why are we doing this now?
Yeah. So who are you recommending this to, Butler?
We keep picking it apart how preposterous it is, but it was very watchable. Like if this movie probably, like you said, if it was out for longer than 2 weeks, it probably would be one of the, WPIX 11 movies of the like Saturday night movies that I would have or Saturday afternoon movies that I would have watched growing up. I think that it is well filmed. It keeps your interest. It's quick, even though it's about 2 hours. It feels faster than it is once they finally get into running. It's just the preposterousness is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But I would say, hey, listen, it's a preposterous movie, but it's a type of action movie from the 90s you probably missed, but is really well made. So I would say I would recommend it to anybody who likes 90s action films, honestly. Yeah,
there's nothing terrible about the direction or the look of the film. It's more just the script failed.
The characters, like you said.
Right. Yeah. It's just not a great script. And you need a great script for a great film. I'm sorry. You just do. So no, but it's definitely watchable. It's definitely like a nice Saturday night film to watch. Or we always talk about like a double feature.
What would you pair this up with?
Probably Gladiator. You know what? Since Emilio Estevez is in the lead, I would either pair it up with another Emilio Estevez film.
Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, I know. See, he just I almost don't want to talk about his career because he's done, Young Guns. The two, he's good in those. Mighty Ducks, obviously The Breakfast Club. He's obviously bigger in the 80s star, but like he's done pretty big films. He just never hit as an adult. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you could pair this up with The Ref with Denis Leary.
Yeah.
Watch Denis Leary.
More Denis Leary as a criminal.
Denis Leary is a bad guy kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think there's a ton of other movies and you can kind of put it together with, but it's 110 minutes like Butler said, but it doesn't feel long. It didn't feel long. Why is it forgotten then? Is it because that they pulled it? Is it because
they pulled it and it doesn't have, like you said, Emilio Estevez as he grew up didn't really blow up. Cuba Gooding Jr. is a star, but
he's going to win an Oscar in 4 years.
Exactly, for Jerry Maguire, but it doesn't really have that star that's like, this movie, this is like if we did a YouTube comment, I'm not going to be like, this is the forgotten Tom Cruise movie. That like it doesn't have that kind of catchy. Oh, I never heard this Arnold Schwarzenegger action movie from the 90s that come out. It doesn't have a director or a star that would really be like, oh my God, it was pulled after 2 weeks. That would pique your interest. It got cut after 2 weeks. It died. It doesn't have any kind of draw to it to bring you back to it, to take it out of, I guess, cinema hell, kind of in a way it got cast down to.
Of the four dudes, the four suburban dudes. I actually think that now Stephen Dorff is the one who's the most not popular, but the one who's
survived,
doing the most work, getting the most. I see him more. Emilio Estevez, he's more of a director, so that's kind of unfair to say that. So he's kind of shaped his career into be a director. Cuba Gooding Jr. had money troubles or something.
He's got troubles.
He's in jail.
I don't think he's in jail, but there's stuff.
He's still
him.
Doing stuff. He is,
but not as much. Yeah. He was just in the OJ show, which was
that's well right. Reviewed. I actually like that. He was good in that. Yeah. And then I know that Piven had some, I don't want to say Me Too stuff, but he got accused of some things and that kind of affected it, but I don't think it was proven or something like that, or I don't know what it is, but I know that he's kind of on the outside a little, which is too bad. I like Jeremy Piven stuff. Although Jeremy Piven, it's got to be the right
always
role.
Plays Jeremy.
I mean, he's always going to be Ari Gold from Entourage now. That's always his role. It's always him.
It's kind of who he plays in this movie.
You could definitely see that. Like Ari Gold is Piven. I mean, I liked him in Grosse Point Blank. Like I liked him in Serendipity. He's funny.
That's the movie I was trying to think
yeah.
of. Yep.
So he's and he was in a show called Mr. Selfridge, or it was like took place in the 70s or 60s, and he played a guy who ran a department store in London. And like it was like for the first, it was weird. It was good. It was a couple seasons, but I never really stuck with it. It was after he did Entourage. So anyways, yeah. So I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah.
Why it's forgotten?
Yeah,
because the stars aren't.
Yeah,
bigger, and it got pulled, and I think that hurts it.
I'm glad I watched it again. I'm glad that you kind of got to see it.
I'm glad I watched it.
It's a movie that I think fits the Forgotten Cinema brand, or what we try to do on the show the best, or one of the better movies. That it's like, this is why we do it, just to kind of highlight a film that people might have been forgotten.
The thing I like the best about this movie is that I'm so angry about, like, we've talked about movies where people make stupid decisions before.
Sure.
But like, I think it hurts more in this movie because it's so well made.
Yeah.
It's just like, why can't these characters be smarter?
This is a script fails.
Yeah. And it's just like, but it is a good movie. It's well made and well acted.
Listen,
like, come on.
I know that scripts pass through a lot of hands in Hollywood, and sometimes it works, but more often than not, it does not work. And it's just, that
everybody rips each other's visions apart.
Yeah.
And no one has a vision.
And it's not even that. It's not even whether one vision is better than the other. It's that you just have the script has no direction. It's got no life.
Yeah. That's what I said. It tears it apart. Yeah.
It's like a Frankenstein's month. So yeah. Anyways, where can they find us?
You can find us at ForgottenCinemaPodcast.com, or wherever you get your podcasts or your shows, or you're watching us. Wherever you are right now, why don't you stop, like, subscribe, put a comment in. What's your favorite kind of gritty early 90s film? Or have you even ever seen Judgment Night? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to support us further, we release an episode every Wednesday of Forgotten Cinema. We have our now showings that we do for newer releases. We have our lead up series for movies that are a series that have a new release. If you want to go on Patreon, we have exclusive series and videos there. Merch shop discounts. We have stickers. You just get to keep track of everything we're doing because we do so much. Keep it here. Help support the show. Buy some merch. That's what I got.
And join us next week, as we're going to stay in the 90s. We're going to 1996 to watch the adventure fantasy film Dragonheart, another movie that I know I saw, but I don't remember a whole heck of a lot about.
You did see it? I thought you did not see it.
Is this the one where you stab it under the plate?
Yeah, that's the Dragonheart.
Then I did see it, but I do not remember.
Probably like in theaters. Was probably the last time you saw it.
96, maybe. I couldn't tell you. Right. I blocked it out.
Interesting.
So we'll see. But I mean, I know I saw it.
It's as good as I get on this show as him not ever seeing him.
I know I saw it. I just don't know what exactly I'm walking into.
No.
All right, that's next week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I'm Mike Field.
I'm Mike Butler.
And this has been Forgotten Cinema. Take care. Goodbye.
Stay out of the hood.
Especially if there's a leprechaun in the hood, I heard.
I like Leprechaun in the Hood.
Do you like the second one?
It's so stupid.
Do you like the second one?
I didn't know they did a second Leprechaun in the Hood.
It's terrible.
I thought he went to space next.
Maybe.